Hello friends, in this video let's learn three concepts. The first concept is composition of forces. Composition of forces. What is composition of forces? It is the process of adding number of forces and finding a single force to replace them. Means in composition of forces what we do? We add number of given forces acting on a body and find a single force, and we replace all the forces by this single force. Second concept is resultant force. Resultant force. What is resultant force? It is a single force which produces same effect as produced by number of forces. In other words, it is a single force which is equivalent in effect to that of number of forces acting on the body. The third concept is law of parallelogram of forces. Law of parallelogram of forces. What is law of parallelogram of forces? If two forces are acting at and away from a point, be represented in magnitude and direction by the sides of a parallelogram, then their resultant in magnitude and direction will be represented by the diagonal of a parallelogram. This is what law of parallelogram forces. Suppose we have a force, one force is acting towards the point, other is acting away from the point. Then by principle of transmissibility of force, we can take this force along the line of action here. See, this force is P and this force is Q. These two forces are represented in magnitude and direction along the two sides of parallelogram. Then their resultant is represented by the diagonal of a parallelogram in magnitude and direction. This is what law of parallelogram of forces. We shall derive expression for the resultant for law of parallelogram of forces. To derive expression for resultant, let's draw a diagram first. And this is the first force acting along one side of parallelogram, say P. Another force acting along other side of parallelogram, say this force is Q. So this point O, I will try to avoid number of points, okay, to avoid the confusion, just representing the forces. Now their resultant will be represented by diagonal of a parallelogram. See, this is the resultant. The angle of resultant is say alpha, and angle between two forces is say theta. Now let's complete parallelogram. Now as these two are opposite sides, we can consider this line as force Q. Let's drop perpendicular from this point. Let's extend this line. Now this is again a smaller right angled triangle. Now I want these two lengths which are representing again components of forces. See, as this is the opposite side for this smaller triangle, right angled triangle, this is equal to Q times, see what is this angle? This angle is again theta. See, these two are parallel and this is just, this line is extension of this line. Therefore, we will get same angle here theta. As this is opposite side, this opposite side is equal to Q times diagonal times sine theta. And this adjacent side for this smaller triangle, right angled triangle of course, is diagonal times cos theta. This is equal to Q times cos theta. Now we are interested in finding this resultant value. Now according to Pythagoras theorem, r square is equal to base square. This total base is equal to P plus this thing Q cos theta square plus height square. Height is Q sin theta whole square. Therefore, R is equal to root of this thing. Let us expand this. A plus B square, A square plus B square Q square cos square theta plus 2PQ cos theta plus Q square sin square theta, Q square sin square theta. This R is equal to P square. If we take Q square common from these two terms, Q square in bracket we get cos square theta plus sin square theta, cos square theta plus sin square theta plus 2PQ cos theta, 2PQ cos theta. As cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1, therefore value of this resultant is root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta plus 2PQ cos theta. This is magnitude of resultant, be represented by diagonal of a parallelogram for the two forces acting along the two sides of a parallelogram. Then what about its direction? Means we are interested in finding this angle alpha. Direction means finding angle of resultant with reference to this x-axis or data. See, if we take tan alpha value, tan alpha for this right angled triangle bigger, this opposite side it is Q sin theta upon this total base P plus this thing Q cos theta, P plus Q cos theta. Therefore, alpha is equal to tan inverse of Q sin theta upon P plus Q cos theta. This is the expression for direction of resultant for the law of parallelogram of forces. Thanks for watching. That's all for this video. Thank you.